Hello guys, how are you today? Hopefully everyone's good. I'm doing something a little different. It's not super exciting. Don't let me, trick you guys or anything, but I'm going to pick up some donuts. So I'm going to Krispy Kreme. I love Krispy Kreme. If you guys have one by you, then you'll know what I'm talking about. But Krispy Kreme is kind of like the best. They're not overly fancy, they're simple, but their donuts are so good. I don't really care for Dunkin's donuts. I think they've upped it with their drinks. Like their drinks are much better than they used to be. I will give it to Dunkin. I think that they've done better over the last few years as far as their drink selection goes. But as far as their actual donuts, I've just never cared for them. I remember way back in the day, for some reason, when I was in kindergarten, don't ask me how I remember this, but I do. I remember, I think it was like the first Friday of every month or the last Friday of every month, my teacher would bring in the little donut holes for us from Dunkin Donuts, and all the kids would go absolutely crazy for them. Now, don't get me wrong, I was like 5, so of course I would eat 1 or 2, whatever I was given, but I don't know, like I've just never thought that Dunkin had very good donuts. So I don't know, maybe I'm the odd one out. Tell me what you guys think. Do you have a Krispy Kreme by you? I know everyone has a Dunkin where they are. Like Dunkin Donuts are becoming kind of like Wendy's, like they're everywhere. I almost said McDonald's, but McDonald's and Starbucks are neck and neck as far as locations, like number of locations per zip code or per area code, however you want to look at it. All right, so I want to talk in the beginning of this video about Critical K's return, because I had quite a few thoughts about that, and I realized that not everyone wants to sit through this entire vlog, so I'm going to talk about her in the beginning of this video, and then there's some other stuff I want to talk about later. But if you clicked on this video because I used Critical K's name in my title, then let's talk about her quickly. Or not quickly, but in the beginning. Y'all know what I mean. So my Critical K video that I did a few weeks ago about her being terminated, it started getting, over the last couple of days, a lot of attention again, and it got a lot of views, at least for my channel. It got a lot of views initially, but it started getting a lot of attention again over the last couple of days, and I'm reading through the comments, and many of you were like, she's back. Critical K is back. She has a channel again. She's making videos again. So I was confused, but when people tell me something, like I'm gonna look into it, which I did, and everyone was right. She now has a channel called Critical K Live, and she already has over 1,000 subscribers. Now, I know a lot of people look at 1,000 subscribers and it's automatically thought of, well, she will surely be monetizing videos. But here's the hiccup that she's going to run into. Okay, you have 1,000 subscribers, but you also need your watch hours. I'll put the watch hours on the screen. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. I don't know if she has the watch hours. Even if she does have that and the watch hours, when you submit your channel to become monetized and YouTube recognizes, okay, this person is eligible for monetization, they also do a review on their end. Critical K was definitely not a tiny channel, and here's where I'm kind of going with this train of thought. If YouTube reviews her monetization eligibility and they put 2 and 2 together, that, oh, this is literally someone that we just terminated, then they're going to understand what's going on there, and her new channel will get shut down. The second thing that I'm thinking she might have done is when her, even though she's still using her face and her name, she could have the tax ID under someone else and somehow go through a loophole there. Not saying that it's right. It's in fact very wrong to do that because you are ban evading. She's ban evading just by the fact that she has an open channel right now. You are evading a ban that YouTube put on you, Critical K, to make content and post it to their platform. You are no longer supposed to have a YouTube channel at this point. You know, there's a couple different things with that. Let's just say, for the sake of possibilities, that Critical K is going to monetize with Google under a different tax ID number, because let's be honest, as soon as you become monetized, you have to provide them a tax ID number. If you don't have an LLC, then that tax ID number is going to be your social security number, and her social security number will be flagged in their system as someone who has had a channel terminated because terms of service was broken. So unless she somehow opened an LLC or has someone else willing to put the AdSense under their social, which I would never, you know, I don't care if it's my best friend, my boyfriend, my dad, like there's a lot of stuff that I will do for people, but putting someone else's channel monetization under my social is definitely never going to be one of them, because there's a couple things that comes along with being monetized on YouTube. Now, I don't know this for 100% because I've never personally tried to trick the system. However, I believe that the bank account that you want your Google AdSense to go to, it needs to match the tax ID that is on file. Now, I don't know for sure because, like I said, I've never tried to kind of finagle anything with that. But there's a few different things that need to fall in line in order for your monetization to stick and for it to be within Google's agreement and YouTube's terms of service. So I don't know what it would look like if you are using a tax ID for an LLC, but then you're using a checking account that has your personal name on it. I don't know what that would do, you know? I don't know if those two need to line up or not, but here's the thing. Once you're monetized under your tax ID number and you are suspended or, you know, banned from YouTube, that's a very, very difficult thing to come back to, because on top of it, let's take Google and YouTube out of the equation. Let's just talk about her and how many people she has personally insulted, bullied, harassed, doxed, been vile and mean to. You know, the way that she exploited everything about the Watts case. Like, she is not someone who is, in my personal opinion, and my opinion doesn't need to be like everyone else's, in my personal opinion, Critical K is not someone who deserves a platform on YouTube. I talked about that in my last video, how there's such a sense of responsibility to have a platform on YouTube, and I know that not everyone takes it that seriously, and you know, that's fine. And if you're not going to take it seriously, that's one thing, but if you're not going to take it seriously while simultaneously bullying, harassing, doxing, and being a bitch to everyone that comes across your channel, that's different than just not caring. You know, like I've seen YouTubers who might not take their platform really serious, but at the same time, they're not being assholes online, and she was doing all of the bad things, all of the hateful and hurtful things. So even if we're not going to talk about what YouTube and, YouTube, Google would do now that she's back, let's also talk about all of the other people who have been directly insulted or hurt by Kay. Now they see she's back, and they are going to go out of their way to make sure that YouTube knows that this person is back. They're making videos, and they are, they're not supposed to have a channel, and they have a channel. So there will definitely be, I don't think it'll be a lot of people, but even if YouTube gets 3, 4, 5 letters or emails saying, hey, why is this person back when her channel was banned a month ago, they will have to review that, and then it will be on their radar. So even if they don't figure it out themselves, there's just no way that when you act as vile and hateful and mean-spirited as she did, the majority is not going to be rooting for you to say, maybe it was just a misunderstanding, glad to see you're back. Like, she is hated by so many. I imagine it would be the same thing with several other YouTubers who misuse their platform and disrespect people every time they upload a video. And being hated is not fun. I don't care what kind of front people try to put on, like, oh, I don't care. Like, you can say you don't care all you want, but unless you literally have no soul, or your soul is as big as a grain of sand, being hated is not a great feeling. And, some people are hated for really stupid reasons. But if you are intentionally being a bad, hurtful person, and when you get backlash, you say, I don't care, whatever, it doesn't bother me, like, maybe it doesn't. I don't know who in their right mind would want to go through life that way. Wow, cigarettes are up to almost $8 a pack. That's crazy. I see prices for cigarettes, and I'm like, I'm so glad that is one thing that I don't have to worry about anymore. So I'm thinking about doing a couple of more piercings. Mine are healing up. I feel like they're kind of on their last couple of weeks of healing. I know, like, technically they're not fully healed, but as far as them kind of being in that sensitive stage, I think within 2 weeks they'll be good. So I'm thinking about making an appointment. We'll see. But if I do, of course, I'll bring you guys along. Yeah, those are kind of my thoughts on Critical K and her return. I just, and it takes some kind of audacity to just pop back up within just a few weeks of being, let's just say, even if it was a month, okay? So you get literally banned, and a month later you have the audacity to just like show up like you're back. I don't know. Some people might look at that and think that it's admirable, but I think it's embarrassing. All right, guys, so I'm going to continue to make my way to Krispy Kreme, and I will check in with you guys once I'm there. So I'll see you in just a sec. All right, guys, we are done at Krispy Kreme. I ended up getting, I'll throw something like a overlay or something if you guys want to see them. It's really not that exciting, but I got half a dozen original glazed, 3 of the raspberry filled, because last time I didn't get those, and my boyfriend almost had a conniption. No, I'm kidding. He didn't. But those are his. Those are the ones he likes. And then I got 9 of the pumpkin spice. I'm not a big pumpkin spice kind of person. I've mentioned that before, but the Krispy Kreme pumpkin spice donuts are delicious. They're so, so good. Hopefully that what I said about Critical K makes sense. You know, am I, my own personal opinion, am I happy to see that she's back? No, I'm not, because she has shown that she is hateful, nasty, cruel, and vile on many occasions. This is not just, you know, 1 or 2 videos that maybe got taken out of context, but it's repetitive. She's a repeat offender when it comes to being bad online. And so no, I don't think that she deserves a platform, and I don't think that her reopening her channel is going to trick YouTube for very long at all, because like I said, there are many people that have been wronged by Kay that will make sure that YouTube knows this person had a channel that was terminated and now she's back. What are y'all going to do about it? So anyway, those are my thoughts about Critical K. On the same wavelength, when it comes to the conversation of people who don't like Critical K and have been wronged by her, let's also talk for a second about this whole idea of being sensitive online. Now, you know, YouTube is so big, and there's so many channels and so many different personalities trying to mesh and communicate their opinions and thoughts in comment sections or on videos or in streams or whatever. And I always find it very interesting, because you have a group of people that like the same channel, but then you have all those people with different personalities and different viewpoints, and some people are really sensitive and some aren't sensitive at all. And it's always been sort of fascinating to me to sit back and watch people, you know, do their best to carry on a conversation and not get irate with each other, which that does happen a lot. But as far as being on the creator side, because at this point I'm not someone who spends a whole lot of time on other channels. I used to leave comments and talk to people on other channels. Now I reserve that time and energy to talk to my own subscribers. Don't get me wrong, I'll leave a note of appreciation once in a while for creators and the videos that they post, but most of my time is spent talking to you guys. So when it comes to a YouTuber being sensitive, I do always kind of put this thing out where it's this idea of, if you get your feelings hurt easily, do not make YouTube videos. If people calling you names has the ability to break your spirit, don't have a YouTube channel. I do my best to be sensitive, but also have enough wherewithal to know that there are some people that just like to get a rise out of you, and the ones who react are the ones that the people will continue to come for and poke and prod, and how much can we get out of this person, how can we mess up their day today. It is a fascinating kind of thing to sit back and watch sometimes, and not in like a sick humor kind of way. It's not that at all, but sometimes I look at it and I'm like, there are so many things happening in the real world. you're actually letting some person on YouTube ruin your entire day. That is, and don't get me wrong, some people know the words to say to really actually go there. Here's something that I also, have really taken into consideration since being on YouTube, is that not everything deserves a reaction. And I don't want to sit here like I know it all, because I definitely don't. I have a lot to learn, and I'm learning things every day still. But when it comes to putting that kind of as a rule and implementing it into your your existence or your personality online, it makes things so much easier, and you will save so much time and patience and energy by remembering that not everything deserves your attention and not everything requires your reaction. I've talked about this before, where it's very easy to become misunderstood online. You're constantly wanting to clarify yourself and combat any person that has something negative to say about you. That could end up being a full-time job, because there are so many random little opinions out there that really don't matter. I also want to say this too, that I'm not saying that you should never pay attention to what people are saying about you, because if the same concern is being echoed, then that's probably something that is worth your attention. But what I'm saying is, every little opinion that, let's say for instance, there have been, out of all of the tens of thousands of views that my car chats videos have received, there have maybe been 4 to 6 people that have raised concerns and said, oh, I don't like when you drive and blog. I don't like it. I'm not going to watch it. But for all of the other people that know that I take safety first and my camera is mounted, I'm not touching it, I'm always hands-free. So most people understand that, that's what my intent is, and that's what my intent is, and that I'm not here to put anyone at risk for a YouTube video. I would never, ever, ever do that. But that is a really good example to think of. Could you imagine that every time I get one of those comments, I made a whole video reacting to it and telling people, well, no, I'm being safe and you guys don't understand. If that was a reaction every single time that I received one of the comments, then that would be very time consuming, and it would become very redundant for all of the people that do understand what my intentions are and that I do take safety first. And we've all had the conversation. It's just like if my boyfriend was sitting here, or friend, and we're talking about whatever it is that we want to talk about. It's that same idea. There's been a handful of people that have said that I'm a snob. Doesn't deserve my reaction. That does not deserve a video, because I saw this with Katie Joy. I've seen it with other YouTubers as well, where when things are said about them, they have to react. They have to clarify their stance. Any little thing that is said is mentioned in a video or gets an entire video. Oh, I saw this comment on so-and-so and we're going to talk about it today. That becomes so frustrating for your subscribers who are there for actual content. On the other hand, maybe when YouTubers are constantly, reacting to comments or videos made about them, maybe that's content for them. Maybe they're feeding the drama knowing that it's free advertising, and they will put out a video that gets viewed. I don't know, maybe that's part of it as well. I think that it goes also hand in hand with this idea. I've talked about this before, so I won't talk about it for a really long time. Conflict for content. And these YouTubers who are constantly getting into it with each other and having feuds and going back and forth and drumming up the drama and spilling the tea on each other. And this whole idea is, if you're in a conflict with another YouTuber, then that will be your content for a day, a week, or longer. Do you guys subscribe to any YouTuber that feeds into this whole idea of conflict for content? I would love to know. I'm very interested, because for me, I realize that once in a while, things need to be addressed. When we're talking about the feuds and the going back and forth, if you subscribe to any channels like that, tell me, how do you feel about it? Do you get exhausted after a while, or is it entertaining for you? Do you not really care? Because what I found is a lot of times the conflict content ends up taking over their channel, where it's almost like it does this flip, where initially people are interested in whatever it is that person's talking about. True crime, makeup, commentary, cooking, whatever it is the original content, that kind of got them into the algorithm was. I'll never deny the fact that commentary is what got me into the algorithm, obviously. And that's the stuff that I also like making. But people sign up for this type of content, whatever it is, and then over time, they start feeding into the conflict content, and they're getting views on that. So the other videos almost like go away. I always look at these channels and I'm kind of like, where is the content? Where is the actual content? If you're going to feud back and forth, at least continue to give your subscribers what they signed up for, and not this being petty and acting like, high school mean girls and just bitching all day long about someone that you can't stand. Like, most of it is not constructive, it's not entertaining, and it gets very much, it's just exhausting after a while. But that's just my opinion. I am one opinion of millions out on YouTube, so my opinion holds no weight. It's what works for me, and that's how I kind of think about things. But I would love to hear from you guys, because this is something that I have seen for a little while, and I know drama sells. Drama's always going to sell. It's always going to be very popular. But when it's constantly feuding with someone else in order to have content, that's kind of where I'm like, aren't you all bored yet? Aren't you all tired of, moaning and groaning, going back and forth and just bitching all day? And not to mention, it makes you look, in my opinion, extremely immature. It just looks reckless to me. It looks very much just like, oh, well, I can't let anyone say a single word about me without making a whole ass video providing a rebuttal to someone else's opinion. And half the time the opinion is not anything that serious. Like, I don't know. Now, if it's something that's actually crossing into like defamation or harassment or bullying, and someone chooses to respond to that, I fully understand why. But to pull up a comment or pull up some little email that you might have gotten, if I made a video for every DM or every email that I was sent where someone had a negative, petty ass, stupid thing to say about me, there would be 150 videos on my channel providing rebuttals to other people's opinions. And that's not what you guys are here for. So I don't have anything to say because most things don't deserve a reaction. Some do, but many do not. Just my opinion. I wanted to share my opinions about Critical K coming back and kind of some of the logistics around that for anyone who is interested. We'll see what happens. Time will tell, but in a snapshot, she does not deserve to have a platform. And you know, I know a lot of people will say, oh, well, that's participating in cancel culture. You know, cancel culture sucks. But when you're a piece of trash online, you don't deserve a platform to stand on and be a piece of trash. And that's what she's done. And she's not only being a piece of trash, but she is making other people's lives miserable by going real life, harassing, and just being an overall bitch, in my personal opinion. That's the problem. So, no, this is not cancel culture. This is holding people accountable. And in this situation, you got banned, you're ban evading, so chances are you're not going to be around for much longer. So hope you guys are having a good day. But for now, if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.